Today we're going to be talking about Denis Villeneuve's Dune duology. First of all, I have to admit I enjoyed these films very much. I had a lot of fun watching them. Well, I had a little bit of fun watching them, but it was still more fun than all of the fun being had within the Dune universe combined. Seriously, what do all these people do to relax? I can't tell if Frank Herbert was missing parts, or if it's brilliant to depict the world of the ambitious and power-hungry as totally devoid of any aspect of the human experience besides sadism and vanity. But let's not put the worm before the carriage, and take it back to the opening of this epic where we meet our heroes, the Fremen. The book doesn't really canonize these guys at the very start the way the film does, but we can't have our audiences confused, so let them know right away they'll be rooting for the Taliban. But they're the Disney Taliban, and they have great hair, so don't worry about it. Then we meet our other heroes, these guys that all look like Nazis, but they're water Nazis, and they're the good guys, and we know that because Timothée has outstanding hair. And as we are soon to learn, bald Nazis are the ones to watch out for. Also, their king is called Vladimir. So the water Nazis from planet Water have been told by the Emperor of Pointless Maneuvers that they will be relocating their asses from the entirely water planet to the entirely desert planet. Isaac Oscar plays the king of all hair, and he obeys the Emperor's extremely suspicious ask because we can only imagine he's been staring at the sea and combing his beard for the last 40 years waiting for the sweet release of a plot. So they take off across the universe in their huge spaceships, which all look fucking awesome, only to arrive on the desert planet of Arrakis to discover that nobody has any hobbies here either. Instead, they will be harvesting spice, which is the most valuable substance in the entire universe, so they will be getting extremely rich so they can harvest more spice. In other extremely broad metaphor news, computers have been banned and replaced by human computers called mentats, which are generally men and are cold and calculating. On the other hand, the Bene Gesserit is a sorority of witches with incredible control over their emotions and intuition. Timothée's mother, the Lady Jessica, played by Rebecca Ferguson, is a Bene Gesserit witch despite the fact that she looks constantly on the verge of a nervous breakdown. We learn that she's been secretly training Paul to be an emotional bitch, while he's also been trained as a human calculator, but all he really wants to do is fall in love with a Disney terrorist. But he can't yet. He has to go to a weird doctor's appointment where they make sure he has no self-respect. Paul shakes and sweats, and Jessica has a nervous breakdown. Let's not forget the fight scene, which along with the incredible cinematography and scenery are the real stars of the show. Back to Paul and his mother, we learn that she has convinced the entire Arabic world that the Messiah is her son, a little Frenchman. Next, we see Paul in a room, alone on the internet, but instead of porn, he's watching plot exposition, and ironically is then attacked by a secret Russian agent who was cemented into a wall and was gooning until his opportunity to attack Paul. We meet the duplicitous character of Kynes, who was changed from an untrustworthy planetologist in the book to an ecologist who overacts in the film. They oversee more incredible special effects before Paul seizes the opportunity to shake and sweat. Next we go to Seleucus Secundus, home of the Emperor's most elite fighting force, the Sardaukar. We know they're the baddest motherfuckers in the universe because they do Mongolian throat singing and stand in rank and file like every other person in the universe. Their leader is upset because all of his lines were dubbed out for heavily distorted nonsense with subtitles. It seems treachery is everywhere, and yet the water Nazis are prepared, or are they? Because they are suddenly betrayed by their family doctor who has access to the defense systems of an entire planet. His training is supposed to make him unable to betray his people, but they omit this detail in the film in order to make room for more scenes of Paul shaking and his mother having nervous breakdown. Nonetheless, Oscar is betrayed and the bald Nazis descend upon the desert in another absolutely mind-blowing sequence of shots, effects, and atmosphere. The battle is lost, and Oscar is captured by Commissar Harkonnen, played by Stellan Skarsgård in the world's least convincing fatsuit. Oscar fails to kill Skarsgård as his final act, and the audience is crushed as they watch a quarter of the film's acting power vanish from the screen. Paul and his mom escape captivity and are heartbroken to learn that the water Nazi patriarchy was overthrown. Jason Momoa, who plays himself in this film, catches up with them, and they all meet up with Kynes, who continues to perform like she belongs in the Dune TV show before being eaten by a giant worm. It's only Paul and his mom left as they execute another daring escape through a storm in order to find the Fremen in the deep desert. They do indeed find, or are rather found by, the Fremen, led by Javier Bardem, who delivers a riveting performance despite dyeing his hair like he's going through a divorce. Paul culturally appropriates a dagger from Zendaya and then uses it to kill her friend in order to ingratiate himself with the band of freedom fighters. This is where the first film leaves us, an agonizing cliffhanger to experience in the theaters at the time. The film was overall an exciting and beautiful adaptation. It seems one of Villeneuve's greatest assets is working around lukewarm performances with incredible atmosphere and production value, but will this stand the test of time? Personally, I think Chalamet and Ferguson might have been better suited in each other's roles, and Zendaya emotes the charisma of a cigarette butt. But if the competition is Rebel Moon, then roll out the fucking Oscars. 5 out of 5. A great effort by everybody. To be continued.